Well, hey everybody, John Recklin here, and this is Unpopular Wrestling Opinion, episode 20. This is New Japan Pro Wrestling themed. Same with Unpopular Opinion, episode 19. That was about Kenny Omega's IWGP title reigns. Link up here if you would like to check that out. But with this, I'm going to focus on the championships in New Japan. And I do want to clarify that I'm a huge New Japan fan. I do admit that the promotion has some flaws. I do not care for some of the talents. I mean, you're going to have that in any company. And there are some, depth issues with some of the divisions. They need to kind of work on that. But I'm going to focus mainly on from when I've been able to watch it live, Wrestle Kingdom 12 to now. And while I understand the title picture, before that, I figure I'd leave that up to the people that were able to watch all that stuff live and let them tackle it. But with this, I love New Japan, but they have some issues with some of their championships. They got a pretty big roster. Sometimes they'll run 2 towns a night. They'll run one show that they broadcast in New Japan World, and then they'll run another. They'll run like another house show and stuff like that. They run long tours, but then they get people time off and they can get bookings elsewhere. There are some wrestlers I don't care for. Some wrestlers I find boring. Some wrestlers I love that others don't. And again, being a fan, that's what that's what being a fan is all about. You find people that you gravitate towards, that you love, people that bring you into the product, that make you believe, all that stuff. And there are plenty. I could list every single New Japan wrestler I love and respect. And by and large, even the ones that I necessarily find boring, I still respect them for getting in the ring and working damn hard. That Japanese style is no joke. But if we're just focusing on championships, even just from Wrestle Kingdom 12, let's tackle first the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. So heading into Wrestle Kingdom 12, you had Tanahashi as champion. He faced Jay White. Jay White had just come back from excursion, I believe, if I remember hearing correctly, and he had only been back with the Switchblade persona and been given that a couple months before. So Tanahashi beats him in a match that wasn't that great. It wasn't bad. It was not bad, but it wasn't great. Something about him just didn't mesh well there. They meshed well later on, and even into this year, when Jay White finally won the IWGP title, beating Tanahashi after only like 5 weeks of the Ace holding the title. But right there, that match wasn't all that great. It was okay. And then Minoru Suzuki beat Tanahashi at New Beginnings Sapporo Night 1, just a few weeks after Wrestle Kingdom. Held it till Hinokuni, where Naito beat him very shockingly. And then you had Naito and Chris Jericho feuding, and Chris Jericho won the IWGP Intercontinental title, which I understood until Jericho didn't defend the pissing fucking title for 5 months. Now, Naito didn't necessarily want the title. He wanted, the big one. Okay, understandable. He had lost to Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 12. He wanted the big one. And then Jericho wins the title at Dominion Osaka and doesn't defend it again until, Power Struggle? It was Power Struggle in November against Evil. In a match, it was fine. Jericho's a great heel. He did well in New Japan. He brought a lot of eyeballs there. He was one of the big reasons why I was like, you know what? I want to see what Omega and Jericho can do. Alpha versus Omega. I want to see what they can do. And I knew enough about enough of the talents where I was like, okay, I'll watch this. And I was locked in, and I'm so glad I started reviewing and watching New Japan because it's been a blast. And it's been enjoyable, even if every show's not perfect. And you're not going to get perfect shows every single damn time. You're going to get decent shows, good shows, and then great shows. But then with the Intercontinental title, you had Naito beat Jericho, and Jericho, who held the title for about 7 goddamn months, just under 7 months. Naito beat him at Wrestle Kingdom in a good match. It was a good match for what it was. That table spot was pretty brutal. And then Kota Ibushi beat Naito at G1 Supercard. So as of now, and as of recording this video, Kota Ibushi is the current IWGP Intercontinental Championship. The state of that championship is good, not great, because it's off of Jericho at least. Suzuki was, I thought, a phenomenal champion. He only held it for a couple months, but still, Suzuki is legit. When he was never openweight champion and faced Hiroki Goto. That was really, really good stuff. So, I'm actually going to go never openweight title right now, right after I say the Intercontinental title with Ibushi as champion, facing off against proper challengers. He's going to be facing Zack Sabre Jr. very, very soon. I believe this coming Saturday. And the reason I decided to record this now is I figured I'm taking a look at the championship pictures coming out of G1 Supercard, so why the fuck not? And I like Kota and Zack Sabre Jr. have great chemistry. They've done very, very well together, and I can't wait to see that match. That's going to be great. But right now, as it stands on this day, the state of the Intercontinental Championship can be built back up. It's certainly better than the U.S. title, but let me go to the Never Openweight Championship. So, Minoru Suzuki, Hiroki Goto had a hair versus hair match at Wrestle Kingdom 12. Never Openweight title on the line. Goto beat Suzuki. A very good match. I actually had to go back and watch this again. These two hard-hitting guys, it's absolutely insane just how hard they hit each other. Goto wins the title and holds it for a pretty long time. I think he held it till, I want to say it was like just, it was either Dominion Osaka or it was like just soon after. I think it might have been Kazuna Road. But, well, actually, no, I think I take that back. He held it for about 5 months, and then Michael Elgin beat him. And then Michael Elgin dropped it back to Goto pretty damn quickly, because Elgin didn't deserve to hold a fucking championship. And that's just my personal opinion. Goto and Jeff Cobb had a great match at G1 Climax Special in the Cow Palace. I actually ended up talking to Jeff Cobb at an indie wrestling show, Defy show, I think is his last Pacific Northwest indie appearance, and got to put that match over to him. I was like, that was a really good match. I don't know if that many people have said anything to you about it, but I loved it. And he appreciated that, and, you know, Cobb's a hell of an athlete, but Goto and Cobb had that match, and then Goto lost to Taichi, what was it, like a few months afterwards, and then Miho looked all happy that, you know, never openweight champion Miho Abe. That would have been very interesting, but she was happy holding the title. Then it was supposed to be Taichi versus Will Ospreay. Well, that didn't happen. Goto ends up beating Taichi and then drops it to Kota Ibushi, who holds it for like a month or less than a month, doesn't have a defense, and then loses it to Will Ospreay. And then Will Ospreay has lost it to Jeff Cobb in a winner-take-all match at G1 Supercard. So taking a look at the state, never openweight championship is probably just below the Intercontinental title. Maybe actually just about equal. Because even with the quick title changes, which I didn't necessarily agree with, Goto was a constant in the never openweight division. It did do a lot for that title. It was certainly more often seen in the Intercontinental title in most of 2018, or at least part of 2018. So I gotta say that one's okay. But then we're gonna get to like the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. You had, Will Ospreay, and then you had Hiromu Takahashi beat him. And Hiromu unfortunately lost it because he had to relinquish it due to his neck injury, and hopefully he's going to be back very soon. And then Taichi, you had Kushida win it, and then you had Taiji Ishimori win it at Wrestle Kingdom 12, and then you had Dragon Lee win it in a three-way with Taiji, Ishimori. I almost feel like it's named Taichi with that, and then Bandito. And that was a pretty good match. So right now, that's in a pretty good state. Those matches are always pretty constantly good, well played, well wrestled, good psychology, even with all the flippy shit, because who doesn't love flippy shit? So that one's in pretty good shape. But then we're going to get to the IWGP Tag Team Championships are in pretty good shape. I mean, honestly, they are. You got you're the Tongans, Evil Sonata, various others, they're in that tag division's in pretty damn good shape. This one probably won't be as long of a video as you might think. Watch it go 40 minutes. But the IWGP tag titles are in pretty good shape right now. You had Evil Sonata winning and the Tongans winning back, Tama Tonga Tangaloa. And now they also hold the Ring of Honor the tag team championships, and nobody gives a fuck about Ring of Honor. And at this point, I'm not sure Ring of Honor gives a fuck about Ring of Honor with the recent acquisitions they made, but I digress. Those are in good shape. And then the never openweight 6-man tag team championships are not fucking needed. I have no issue with using factions and this kind of stuff and giving tag titles to people that could use them, but there were so many times I forgot who the fuck the 6-man champions were. Like you had the Tongans and Ishimori win them, and I totally forgot about that. And then you had Yano, Togi Makabe, and Taguchi being the champions. And I mean, they're going to be defending them very soon, I believe, on this Road to Dontaku tour. And that's great. Not every show needs to have a championship match. You got to build feuds. You got to do the right thing. I totally get that. But the never openweight 6-man titles mean absolutely nothing. They mean absolutely goddamn nothing. They don't. They don't mean anything. And it's nothing against the talents. The talents work extremely hard. And I love Yano. I love Makabe. I love Taguchi. I love when the Tongans and the Shimori were the champions. There was some good shit going on as far as the matches, but the titles don't mean anything. I'm sorry. They don't fucking mean anything. Now, eventually, maybe they will get back to some prominence. But if you could cut a championship for New Japan, the Never Openweight six-man championships might be it. And maybe it's just because in these 15 months that I've been watching that there really isn't all that much to it. But honestly, there isn't a whole lot to the titles. I mean, why in the world would anybody really care about this? So I got just a little bit of a thing that I want to bring in here in this unpopular opinion. I want to bring on a guest, folks. Why not bring on a guest? He wants to weigh in on the Never Openweight championships. He doesn't like them. Yes, he's a big cat. This is Sir. He's a rescue pet. Anyway, let's get back to the show. So, yeah, there isn't a whole lot to the Never Openweight six-man championships. It's not that they're bad. They're just not great. Maybe Yano, Makabe, and Taguchi being champions, you could do that to establish some, like some good feuds and everything and give them to a trio. They could really work. But just right now, they just seem so blah. Even the IWGP title, and I'm gonna get to a couple more here in a bit. But the IWGP title, after Okada's reign, Omega's reign wasn't all that great, but at least he held it for almost 7 months. And then Tanahashi beat him and held it for 5 weeks, and then Jay White beat him, held it for almost 2 months, and Okada's the current champion. And that's great. But 2 champions did not have a single title defense. You can't hot potato your biggest title and actually make it mean something. You just can't fucking do it. There's no fucking reason to do that. That being said, the IWGP title is certainly in great shape. They just need to have it on Okada for a bit, have Naito beat him, maybe Jay White beat Okada during the G1 or something, beat him for the title maybe in September, Jay White versus Naito or something like that. They're probably going to go with Okada versus Naito at Wrestle Kingdom 14, and I'm here for it. I think that would be great. So yes, even with the quick title changes in the last couple months, the IWGP title is pretty well established. But now we get to 2 titles that really, I'm sorry, are meaningless. And nothing against the talents. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles have been in either Kanemaru and El Desperado, Roppongi 3K, Shingo and Bushi, or now Roppongi 3K again. And I love those teams. All 3 of those teams, all 6 of those guys are world-class athletes and great. When Kanemaru might actually be the least of the workers that you have there, and he's still world-class, that's saying something. But you can't have 3 fucking teams feud over these championships for over a year. You can't do it. Bring in some more junior heavyweight, tag teams to feud. Even if they don't win, at least you're creating some new feuds for that. There's no reason to do that. No reason to have the same 3 teams do all this shit, the same shit, over and over. As good as the matches are, it makes the titles flat. It makes the titles totally fucking flat. It just does. And now, we're going to finish up with the junior heavyweight, not the junior heavyweight, but the U.S. title. The U.S. title has not been in great shape. Pretty much since its inception. Well, that's not true. Omega winning it and then holding it till New Beginnings Sapporo Night 2 was pretty cool. That Alpha versus Omega match, Jericho versus Kenny Omega match at Wrestle Kingdom 12 for the U.S. title, a lot of people seem to forget that, myself included, was actually pretty good. Omega as champion was fine. Jay White winning it and holding it for almost 6 months, just over 5, still was a pretty good reign. And then Juice held it for a little bit, and that wasn't all that much. Juice was a good champion, but then lost it to Cody in his first defense, and then won it back from Cody at Wrestle Kingdom. And now Juice is still the U.S. champion. The problem is that's Omega, Jay White, Juice, Cody, Juice. And I don't think I missed anybody else in there that held the title. That's 5 different reigns. Juice had 2 of them, but that's 5 different, reigns in less than 2 years with a championship. When Omega's was 6 months, Jay White's was 5 months. So you take that out of it, so that's like just about a year. Just about a year between 2 champions. And in 9 months, we've had three different reigns. We have Juice, Cody, and then Juice again. That's not good. They need to establish longer reigns, keep things going. I'm not saying you need to make it boring. Don't stick it on somebody forever if the reign isn't good. But stick with people long enough to establish a championship well, because if you just throw it on anybody, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't work in New Japan. It doesn't work in Ring of Honor. It doesn't work in WWE. So that's all I got to say about the championship picture right there. But one more thing before I go, folks. One more thing is the New Japan roster has all this, has so much talent, and all he can do is think nothing negative. Can you think anything? Wait, you can actually think plain negative. Can you think anything positive? Well, at least the elite isn't there. The elite. The elite. I don't think he likes me very much. But he's a good rescue pet. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think I was too harsh on the championship picture in New Japan? I'm going to put him down, by the way. He's starting to scratch me. But anyway, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I will see you soon.